You meet her at a coffee shop near the border. She's reading a book in Spanish that you don't recognize, drinking something dark that she hasn't touched in 20 minutes. You're not even sure why you walk over. Maybe it's the way she sits, like the rest of the room doesn't exist. Maybe it's because you've been lonely in a city where you don't speak the language well enough to be anything other than polite. You say something! She looks up. Her smile is small, controlled, like she's deciding in real time whether you're worth the effort. She asks where you're from. You tell her. She switches to English without missing a beat, and suddenly you're talking like you've known each other longer than 3 minutes. Her name is Isabella. She works in logistics. You don't ask what kind because it feels rude and also because you're too busy noticing the way she listens. Head tilted slightly, eyes steady, like she's reading a map only she can see. You exchange numbers. You don't expect her to text first. She does. 2 days later, you're at a street market, and she's teaching you how to haggle in Spanish, laughing. When you butcher the pronunciation so badly, the vendor just gives you the discount out of pity. She buys you something fried and sweet and watches you eat it with an expression you can't quite read. Content, maybe, or calculating. You're not sure yet. 3 weeks in, you start noticing things, small things. The way she never sits with her back to the door, the way she checks her phone, and her entire mood shifts, just for a second, before she puts it away and smiles at you like nothing happened. The way a man in a suit nods at her across a restaurant, and she nods back, and neither of you mentions it. You ask her once what logistics actually means. She says supply chain management, coordination, making sure things get from one place to another without problems. It sounds boring. It sounds like a lie. You let it go because the alternative is a question you're not ready to hear answered. She takes you to meet her brother on a Sunday. He's younger, louder, with the same dark eyes and a handshake that lasts too long. He calls you gringo, but he's smiling. There's a man outside the restaurant who doesn't come in, just stands by a black SUV the entire time. You notice! Isabella notices you noticing. She reaches across the table and squeezes your hand. Later, she asks if you're okay. You say yes. She says you can ask her anything. You almost do. You almost ask why her brother had a gun tucked into his waistband at Sunday lunch, why the man outside looked at you like he was memorizing your face, why she keeps a second phone in a drawer she thinks you don't know about. Instead, you kiss her. She kisses back like she's been waiting for you to stop asking questions you can't unhear the answers to. 4 months in, she tells you she wants you to meet her father. The way she says it isn't casual. It's a checkpoint. You're standing in her apartment, the one with too much security for a logistics coordinator, and she's watching your face like she's waiting for you to run. You don't run. You show up the following Saturday in clothes you bought specifically for this, trying to look like someone who deserves to walk through that gate. The house isn't a house. It's a compound. High walls, cameras, men who pat you down before you make it past the courtyard. Her father is smaller than you imagined, gray at the temples, calm in a way that feels like a warning. He shakes your hand. He asks about your family, your work, your intentions. You answer honestly because lying to this man feels like stepping into traffic. He nods. He pours you a drink you don't want. You drink it anyway. Isabella sits beside you, her hand on your knee, steady. At dinner, her father talks about loyalty, about family, about the difference between people who stay and people who leave when things get difficult. He never raises his voice. He doesn't have to. You understand what's happening. This isn't a dinner. It's an initiation. You're being told the rules without them being spoken. Stay quiet, stay loyal, stay blind when you need to. You nod at the right moments. You thank him for the meal. When you leave, Isabella's quiet in the car. She doesn't ask if you're scared. She knows you are. She reaches over and laces her fingers through yours. A year later, you're still here. You know what she does now. Not all of it, but enough. Enough to understand why she keeps two phones, why men in suits nod at her, why her brother carries a gun to Sunday lunch. You don't ask questions anymore because the answers won't change anything. You're in it, not because you were forced, because you chose her, and choosing her meant choosing all of it. You think about the bar sometimes, the book in Spanish, the way she looked up. If you could go back, warn yourself, show yourself everything you know now, you wonder if you'd listen. Probably not. Some people see the cliff and step back. Some people see it and jump anyway, believing the fall might be worth it. You jumped. You're still falling. And the worst part, the part that sits in your chest when you wake up at 3 in the morning and watch her sleep, is that you do it again. 6 months from now, you'll be at another dinner, different house, same rules. Her father will ask you to handle something small, a delivery, a message. Just logistics, he'll say, and you'll hear the echo of her lie from that first month. You'll say yes because saying no stopped being an option the moment you walk through that gate. You'll drive home with her in silence, and she'll rest her head against the window, and you'll realize this is what love looks like when it grows in the dark. Not pure, not simple, but yours. Completely, irrevocably yours. The coffee shop is still there. You pass it sometimes on your way to places you never thought you'd go, doing things you never thought you'd do. You never stop in. Some doors close behind you and the person who walked through them doesn't exist anymore. You're not that lonely kid with bad Spanish anymore. You're someone else now. Someone who knows what logistics really means. Someone who stopped asking questions because the answers all lead to the same place. Here, with her, in a life you can't leave because leaving would mean losing the only person who ever made you feel less alone. That's the thing about falling. Eventually, you stop measuring the distance to the ground. You just hold on to whoever jumped with you and hope you land together.